Meeting the challenges of climate change is a collective effort, and each one of us has a positive role to play. So what can we do about it? As citizens, in our families, in our professional capacities, or as students? The Carbon Literacy Project is a not-for-profit organisation and a charity in the UK. It offers a simple way to think about climate action. What will you do as an individual? This is an action you can largely achieve by yourself. And what will you do in a group, in collaboration with other people? The Carbon Literacy Project has some criteria for climate actions. The first is that actions need to reduce greenhouse gas emissions. Climate change is caused by too much of them in our atmosphere, so avoiding them being generated in the first place is fundamental. The second is that actions need to be new. This is because in general, in most sectors and societies, we're not yet doing enough to reduce greenhouse gas emissions to a safe level that limits global warming. We need much more action and we need to scale it up. Third, actions need to be significant. The scale of change needed is exciting, yet a huge challenge. Our actions need to be significant to us. We've got to put some effort in if we're going to meet the challenge. Tens of thousands of people are taking positive action through carbon literacy. If you are taking a training or interested in getting involved, then let's take a look at the criteria in more detail. First, your climate actions need to reduce greenhouse gas emissions. This means averting or avoiding emissions being produced in the first place. For example, repairing something instead of buying it new avoids the emissions from manufacturing and shipping. Using a bicycle courier instead of a vehicle delivery avoids emissions from burning gasoline, petrol, or diesel fuel. Or choosing a plant-based diet reduces emissions from agriculture. There are environmentally friendly actions we can take, like picking up litter or clearing plastic waste from beaches. These are great for the environment and local community. They're also a great way to connect with other people. But on their own, those actions don't reduce carbon emissions. So what about forests and peat bogs and oceans, all our ecosystems? Well, protecting and restoring our natural world protects wildlife and biodiversity and keeps carbon locked up where it should be. So actions that prevent forests from being burned down or prevent peat bogs from being used as fuel would avoid emissions being released into the atmosphere. But actions like planting trees in order to balance or offset emissions elsewhere is not avoiding emissions in the first place. Second, your climate actions have to be new. It must be something you have not done yet, but will do in the future as a result of your carbon literacy training. Your climate action could be something you've never thought of until your training, or it could be something additional or new that you're going to add on to an effort that's already ongoing. Your climate actions can be something you've thought of and started developing during the course of your training. But maintaining an existing climate-friendly action is not considered new, even if you've just started doing it. Third, your actions need to be significant. This means it will take some effort and investment on your part. It might be an investment of your time, skills, creativity, or resources. What is significant to you, of course, depends on your context and role. If you have a decision-making role in your organization, your action plan should reflect that. In general, planning to do something which is already standard practice in your context won't be considered significant enough. And lastly, your climate actions need to take place in the context that you did your training. So if you're taking the training within your professional context, then your action plans should be in your professional context as well, rather than something you do in your private life as a private citizen. But if you feel you can have a greater impact and avert larger amounts of emissions in a different context, please just explain that in your action plan. So to sum up, your climate actions need to reduce or avert emissions in the first place, be new, be significant to you and require some effort on your part, and take place in the same context that you did your training. Your efforts can inspire others, so make your actions visible. And last but not least, have fun and celebrate your successes.